The rain fell heavily on Do-hyun's small house at the edge of Seoul. Lightning flashed across the sky, making shadows dance on his living room walls. Do-hyun sat at his desk, looking through his medical research papers. The clock on his wall showed 11:30 p.m. Do-hyun worked as a medical researcher at Seoul National Hospital. He liked living alone in this quiet area, away from the busy city center. His house was the last one on the street, with dense forest behind it. The peaceful location helped him think better about his work. Tonight, he was studying a new way to help wounds heal faster. The sound of rain usually helped him focus, but something felt different. The air seemed to buzz with strange energy. He noticed his phone screen flickering oddly, though there wasn't any storm damage to the power lines yet. Suddenly, 3 loud knocks echoed from his front door. Do-hyun looked up from his papers, surprised. Nobody ever visited him this late, especially not in such bad weather. He thought about ignoring it, but the knocking came again, more desperate this time. "Coming," Do-hyun called out. He walked to the door, wondering if someone's car had broken down nearby. The knocking continued, weaker now. When he opened the door, he nearly fell backward in shock. A woman stood there, but she wasn't like any woman Do-hyun had ever seen. Her skin shimmered with a pearl-like glow, changing colors slightly as she moved. Her hair looked like flowing silver threads, and her eyes were large and completely golden, with no white parts. She wore what looked like a tight-fitting suit made of unknown material. Most alarming was the dark purple liquid seeping through tears in her suit. Do-hyun recognized the way she held her side. It was how injured people protected their wounds. The strange woman swayed on her feet, clearly struggling to stand. "Please," she said in perfect Korean, though her voice had an odd musical quality. "I need help. They're hunting me." Her golden eyes darted fearfully toward the forest. Do-hyun's medical training took over. Whatever she was hurt and needed help. He quickly looked up and down the street, empty except for the rain. Then he gently took her arm. "Come inside," he said calmly, helping her through the door. "I'm a doctor. I can help you." The woman stumbled as she entered. Do-hyun caught her before she could fall. Her skin felt warm, warmer than a human's, and had a soft texture like velvet. He helped her to his couch, grabbing his first aid kit from the bathroom. "My name is Do-hyun Kim," he said as he opened the kit. "Can you tell me your name?" The woman's color-changing skin had become paler. "I am Era," she said weakly. "I apologize for involving you, but I had no choice. My ship's cloaking system is damaged. I managed to hide it in the forest. But..." She winced in pain. Do-hyun saw 3 wounds on her side, unlike anything he'd seen before. They looked like burn marks, but had a strange geometric pattern around the edges. The purple liquid, her blood, he realized, seemed to glow faintly. "These aren't normal injuries," he said, carefully cleaning around the wounds. "What caused them?" Era tried to sit up straighter. "Energy weapons. The attackers were using pulse rifles. Her voice trailed off as she looked toward his windows. "We shouldn't be near windows. They have scanning technology." Do-hyun nodded, helping her up again. "My basement has a small medical room. I sometimes work from there. No windows." He led her toward the basement door, supporting most of her weight. "Don't worry about explaining everything now. Let's take care of your wounds first." As they slowly made their way down the basement stairs, Do-hyun's mind raced. He was now involved in something much bigger than himself. But as he looked at Era's pained expression, he knew he'd made the right choice. Human or alien, a patient was a patient. His job was to help, and that's exactly what he would do. In Do-hyun's basement medical room, Era sat on the examination table. The bright medical lights showed her injuries more clearly now. Do-hyun had many questions, but first, he needed to stop her bleeding. "These wounds are deep," he said, examining the strange geometric patterns. "I need to clean them properly." "This might hurt." Era nodded. "Our bodies heal differently from humans. The purple blood you see helps clean the wounds naturally. But these energy weapon injuries topped that process. Do-hyun carefully cleaned each wound. He noticed that when he wiped away the purple blood, new blood appeared more slowly than with human injuries. This gave him an idea. "Your blood clots differently," he said. "I should adjust my treatment." He walked to his cabinet and took out some special bandages he used in his research. These bandages were designed to help blood clot faster. As he worked, Era told him more about herself. "I am from the Luminary Collective," she explained. "We are a group of star systems working together peacefully. I work as a peace talker, what you might call a diplomat." "Why were you attacked?" Do-hyun asked, applying the bandages. He noticed they worked well with her unusual blood. Era's golden eyes showed sadness. "Some of my people think we should not talk to other species, especially younger ones like humans. They call themselves the Purity Group. They found out I was studying Earth for possible peaceful contact." She touched one of her bandages carefully. "They tried to stop me." Do-hyun finished treating the last wound. "These bandages should help, but I'm worried about infection. I don't know if human medicines will work on you." "They will," Era assured him. "Our studies show that human medical care works well with my species. That's one reason we were interested in Earth. Your medical science is impressive." Suddenly, they heard a humming sound from above. Era tensed up. "Scanner waves," she whispered. "They're searching the area." Do-hyun turned off the bright medical lights, leaving only a small desk lamp on. "Will they find us?" "The basement helps," Era said. "And your house is partly underground on this side. That blocks most scans." She looked at Do-hyun with concern. "But you're in danger now. Helping me is a crime in their eyes." "I'm a doctor," Do-hyun said firmly. "Helping injured people isn't a crime. It doesn't matter where they're from." Era's skin changed color slightly, showing a warm golden tone. Do-hyun realized this might be how her species showed emotion. "Your kindness proves what I told my people," she said. "Humans are ready for contact. You see someone in need, and you help without fear." The humming sound grew fainter. Do-hyun checked Era's bandages again. "Can you tell me about your ship? You said it's hidden in the forest." "Yes. Its cloaking system still works partly. It looks like a large rock now, but I can't fly it until I fix the damage." She tried to stand but wobbled slightly. Do-hyun gently pushed her back onto the examination table. "You need rest first. The bleeding has stopped, but your body needs time to heal. You can stay here. My basement has a small bedroom I use during long research sessions." "But the danger," Era started to protest, "is less than if you leave injured," Do-hyun finished. "I have medical supplies here, and the basement is safe from scans. We can think about fixing your ship after you're stronger." Era's skin shimmered with a soft blue color. "Thank you," she said quietly. "Among my people, there is a saying, 'The hand that helps guides the future.' I will not forget this kindness." Do-hyun smiled and started preparing the bedroom. As he worked, he realized his life had changed completely in just a few hours. But looking at his patient resting safely, he knew he would do the same thing again. Some things were more important than staying safe, like doing what was right. 3 days passed since Era arrived at Do-hyun's house. She was healing well, but they both knew they weren't safe. Do-hyun tried to act normal, going to work at the hospital and buying extra food on his way home. However, someone had noticed the changes in his routine. His neighbor, Jae-yun Park, watched from her window as Do-hyun carried another bag of groceries inside. She had lived next door for 5 years and knew Do-hyun's habits well. He usually bought food once a week, but this was his 3rd shopping trip this week. Something was different. Jae-yun wasn't just any neighbor. Before retiring, she had worked in intelligence for the government. She knew when someone was hiding something. That morning, she decided to visit Do-hyun. Do-hyun was checking Era's bandages in the basement when his doorbell rang. Through the security camera he had installed after Era's arrival, He saw Jian standing at his door with a plate of food. "Stay here," he told Era quietly. "I'll handle this." Upstairs, Du Hyun opened the door and smiled at his neighbor. "Good morning, Ms. Park. This is a nice surprise." "I made too much kimchi," Jian said, looking past him into the house. "I thought you might like some. You've been so busy lately, shopping every day. Are you having guests?" Do Hyun took the plate, keeping his smile steady. "Thank you. No guests. I'm just trying new recipes. My cooking isn't very good yet." Jian nodded, but her eyes noticed small things. A long silver hair on Do Hyun's shirt, a strange shimmer on the floor near the basement door, like someone with glittery skin had walked there. Before she could say more, they heard a low humming sound. Do Hyun recognized it. Scanner waves from Era's attackers. Jian heard it too, and her expression changed. "You should be careful," she said in a different tone. "Some things that seem strange might have simple explanations, but others," she looked directly at Do Hyun, "others might need help staying hidden." Do Hyun's heart beat faster. Did she know something? Before he could respond, Jian pulled out her phone and showed him a picture. It showed a strange rock formation in the forest behind our houses. Era's cloaked ship. "That appeared 3 nights ago," Jian said quietly. "The same night you started buying extra food. The same night I saw unusual lights in the sky." She put her phone away. "I won't ask questions, but you should know that more people are watching this area. People with strange devices. They knocked on my door yesterday, asking if I'd seen anything unusual." Do Hyun's hands gripped the plate tightly. "What did you tell them?" "That I'm an old woman who goes to bed early. I saw nothing." Jian stepped closer and spoke very softly. "My work taught me that sometimes the right thing to do isn't the official thing to do. If you need help, my door is open. I still have connections." The humming sound grew stronger. Jian glanced at the sky. "You should check your basement windows. Sometimes old houses let in strange signals." "Good day, Do Hyun." She walked away, leaving Do Hyun standing at his door. His mind raced. Was Jian offering to help? Could he trust her? The humming sound reminded him that time was running out. He needed to make a decision soon. In the basement, Era looked worried. "She knows something," she said when Do Hyun told her about Jian's visit. "But I sensed no threat from her. My people can feel others' intentions. She wants to help." Do Hyun sat down heavily in his chair. "Then we might need her help soon. Those scanner waves are getting stronger every day. And you're still not fully healed." They both looked up at the ceiling as another scanner wave passed overhead. The hunters were getting closer. Soon, they would have to decide. Try to face this alone, or trust Jian and hope her connections could help them survive what was coming. The next evening, Jian led Do Hyun and Era through a quiet basement restaurant in downtown Seoul. Era wore a long coat with a hood, and special makeup covered her shimmering skin. They walked past tables of people eating, then through the kitchen, and finally to a heavy metal door. Jian knocked 3 times, paused, then twice more. A small screen next to the door lit up, showing a man's face. "Password?" he asked. "The stars are not silent," Jian answered. The door opened smoothly. Inside, they found a large room filled with computer screens and strange equipment. 2 people waited for them, a tall man in his 40s and a younger woman with short hair. Both wore simple black clothes. "This is Hajun Lee," Jian said, pointing to the man. "And this is Yun Woo Kang. They help people like Era." Hajun stepped forward. "Welcome to the network. We've been helping Earth's extraterrestrial visitors for 15 years now." He looked at Era with kind eyes. "You're not the first to need our help, and you won't be the last." Do Hyun looked around in amazement. One wall showed maps with moving dots of different colors. Another had screens showing news from around the world. How does all this exist without anyone knowing? Yeonwoo smiled as she checked some readings on her tablet. People see what they expect to see. A busy restaurant. A boring office building. Nobody looks deeper. She walked to Era and held up a small device. May I scan you? We need to know what kind of trackers they might be using. Era nodded, and Yunwu moved the device over her. Interesting, she said. They're using third-generation quantum trackers. But she typed something quickly. We can block those. How did you get involved in this? Du Hyun asked Jai-yun. 20 years ago, I found an injured alien too. Like you, I chose to help. Jai-yun touched a screen, bringing up an image of Era's cloaked ship. That's how I recognized the signs at your house. The extra food, the strange lights, the hidden ship. Hejun pressed some buttons, and a 3D map appeared in the center of the room. The hunters are searching in a pattern, he explained. They'll reach your area fully in 2 days. We need to move you both before then. Both of us? Du Hyun asked, surprised. You're involved now, Yunwu said without looking up from her work. They'll question you if they find you. And their questions. She paused. They're not gentle with humans who help aliens. Era stepped forward. I won't let them hurt Du Hyun. He helped me when no one else would. That's why we're here, Hejun said firmly. To protect both of you. Yunwu can block their scanners for 6 hours. During that time, we'll move you to a safe house. Then we'll help repair your ship. Era. Do Hyun thought about his life. His job, his home, his research. I'll need to tell the hospital something. Already done, Jai-yun said. You've been accepted for a special research project. The paperwork looks perfect. The hospital is very proud of you. She smiled slightly. Yunwu finished her work and stood up. The scanner blocking will start at midnight. Pack only what you absolutely need. We'll pick you up at 2 a.m. She handed them both small devices. These will let you contact us in an emergency. Keep them close. As they prepared to leave, Hejun touched Du Hyun's shoulder. You did the right thing, helping her. That's what humanity should be about. Helping others, no matter where they're from. Walking back through the restaurant, Du Hyun felt strangely calm. His life had changed completely, but he wasn't alone anymore. There were others who believed as he did. That kindness shouldn't stop at the boundaries of Earth. In the car ride home, Era spoke softly. Your people continue to amaze me. You build secret networks just to help strangers from the stars. The Purity Group is wrong about humans. You're ready for so much more than they think. The safe house turned out to be a small farm 2 hours outside Seoul. Hejun had driven them there before sunrise, taking back roads to avoid any watchers. Now, 3 days later, Du Hyun and Era sat on the farmhouse's wooden porch, watching the sun set over the fields. Your sun looks different from the ones in my home system, Era said, her skin reflecting the orange evening light. We have 3 suns. The days are never fully dark. Do Hyun found himself fascinated by how her skin changed colors with her emotions and the light around her. Is that why your skin works the way it does? To adjust to different types of sunlight? Era smiled. Yes. My people evolved to live with changing light. We can absorb and reflect different types of energy. She held up her arm, showing how her skin sparkled. It also helps us communicate. Each color has a meaning. Like how you turn golden when you're happy? Du Hyun asked. He had started noticing patterns in her color changes. You noticed that? Era's skin rippled with soft purple, which Du Hyun had learned meant surprise. Most aliens don't pick up on our color language so quickly. You're very observant. Do Hyun shared his own knowledge too. He explained how human bodies worked, showing her his medical books. Era was amazed by how humans could heal themselves without special technology. Your bodies are incredible, she said, looking through a book about the human immune system. You fight diseases naturally, adapt to new environments, heal broken bones. Some of our most advanced medical technology tries to copy what human bodies do naturally. Inside the farmhouse, Du Hyun made them both tea, another human custom he had taught Ara. She held the warm cup carefully, enjoying the steam rising from it. In the Luminary Collective, she explained, we don't have many hot drinks. Most of our food and drink is served at body temperature. This warming feeling is new to me. Her skin showed pleasant blue ripples as she sipped the tea. Do-hyun worked on his laptop while they talked, keeping up with his research work remotely. Ara watched him type with interest. Your written language is so different from ours, she said. We write in patterns of light and color. But I like how your letters look like little pictures. Can you show me how your writing works? Do-hyun asked. Ara held up her hand, and suddenly the air above it filled with beautiful swirling patterns of light. This is my name in my language, she explained. Each pattern represents a sound and a feeling together. As evening turned to night, they continued sharing stories. Ara told him about growing up in a city that floated among the clouds. Do-hyun described his childhood in Seoul, playing in parks and visiting his grandmother's house in the countryside. Our peoples are so different, Ara said thoughtfully, but we feel the same things. We want to learn, to grow, to connect with others. Her skin showed deep blue waves, the color of deep thinking. Maybe that's why the purity group is so wrong, Do-hyun replied. They think different means dangerous, but different just means we have more to learn from each other. Ara's hand moved closer to Do-hyun's on the porch railing. When I first crashed here, I was afraid. But now I understand something important. Sometimes we find the best parts of ourselves when we help each other across the stars. The night grew cooler, and stars began to appear in the sky. Somewhere up there, Ara's home waited. But right now, on a small farm on Earth, two beings from different worlds were learning that friendship didn't need to follow any star map. The peaceful days at the farm ended suddenly one rainy morning. Do-hyun woke up to the sound of Yeonwoo's emergency alarm beeping from the small device she had given him. He rushed to Ara's room, finding her already awake and alert. Something's wrong, Ara said, her skin pulsing with worried red colors. I can sense unfamiliar minds nearby. Many of them. Do-hyun's phone buzzed with a message from Jae-yeon. Leave now. Network compromised. Someone talked. Hunters coming. Take the back road. We'll try to slow them down. They grabbed their emergency bags, always kept packed and ready, just as Ho-jun had taught them. Through the window, Do-hyun saw strange lights moving through the rain, coming from the main road. The hunters had found them. The basement, Do-hyun whispered. There's a tunnel. Jun showed me when we arrived. They moved quickly and quietly down the basement stairs. Do-hyun pulled a hidden lever behind an old shelf, revealing a narrow passage. Just as they entered, they heard the front door crash open above them. Your device, Ara said suddenly. Throw it here. She pointed to a corner of the basement. They can track it. Do-hyun tossed the emergency device, and they sealed the tunnel entrance. The passage was dark, but Ara's glowing skin provided enough light to see. They could hear heavy footsteps and strange electronic sounds from above. Who could have betrayed us? Do-hyun wondered as they hurried through the tunnel. The air was damp and cold. Someone who knew where we were, Ara said sadly. The network isn't as secure as they thought. The tunnel seemed to go on forever. Do-hyun remembered Ho-jun's instructions. Follow it to the end. There's an old storage shed by the river. Transportation will be waiting. Suddenly, Ara stopped walking. Her skin turned a deep warning orange. Do you hear that? From behind them came the sound of the tunnel entrance opening. The hunters had found their escape route. Worse, they could see beams of strange light beginning to shine through the darkness. Run, Ara whispered urgently. Their scan lights can paralyze you. They ran through the tunnel, splashing through puddles and trying not to slip on the wet floor. The lights behind them got brighter. Strange voices echoed off the walls, speaking in a language Do-hyun didn't understand. Finally, they saw a faint light ahead. The tunnel's exit. They burst out into the rain, finding themselves near a small river. The old storage shed stood nearby, half hidden by trees. A familiar figure waited there, Jai-yun, holding car keys. "Quickly," she called. "They're right behind you." They ran to the car, an old but sturdy SUV. As they jumped in, energy blasts hit the ground around them, leaving smoking black marks on the grass. Jai-yun drove fast, taking a dirt road into the forest. "How did you get here?" Do-hyun asked, holding tight as the car bounced over rough ground. "I have my ways," Jai-yun said, focused on driving. "The network isn't completely compromised. Hajum and Yeonwoo are safe. They're meeting us at another safe house, one that isn't in any official records." Era looked back through the rear window. 2 ships following us. Small ones. Her skin showed swirling patterns of worry and fear. "Don't worry about them," Jai-yun said with a small smile. She pressed a button on the dashboard. Suddenly, strange devices popped up from the car's roof. "This isn't my first rescue mission. Hold on tight." The devices activated, releasing bursts of energy that interfered with the ship's tracking systems. In the confusion, Jai-yun turned onto a hidden road, one that would take them to their next hiding place, and hopefully, to answers about who had betrayed them. After 3 hours of driving through back roads and forests, Jai-yun's car pulled up to what looked like an old factory building. The morning sun was just starting to rise, painting the sky pink and orange. Hajun and Yeonwoo were already waiting outside. "Quickly, inside," Hajun said, opening a large metal door. "Sunhai has the defense systems ready." "Sunhai?" Do-hyun asked as they hurried in. "Sunhai Choi," Yeonwoo explained. "She used to design military technology. Now she helps us." She looked worried. "We found out who betrayed us. It was Ta-won, our new communications officer. The hunters paid him a lot of money." Inside the factory, they met Sunhai, a woman in her 50s wearing work clothes and carrying a tablet computer. The main room was filled with strange machines and glowing screens. "Welcome to my workshop," Sunhai said, checking some readings on her tablet. "They're following you, but my shields are up. We're invisible to their scanners for now." Era walked to one of the screens, her skin changing to alert yellow. "These are impressive defense systems. Some look like collective technology." Sunhai smiled. "I've learned from every alien visitor we've helped. Sometimes they leave us little gifts." She pressed some buttons, and a 3D map appeared in the air. "The hunters have 12 ships now. They're searching in a circle around this area. We need to get Era's ship here," Hajun said. "She can't contact her people without it. The communication device is built into the ship's core." "The ship is too damaged to fly," Era reminded them. "And they're watching the forest where I hid it. I can help with that," Sunhee said. She walked to a large machine in the corner. "This is a portal device. Short range, but it works. An alien friend helped me build it. We can teleport your ship here." Suddenly, alarms started ringing. Yeonwoo ran to her computer. "They found us. The shields are failing." "Impossible." Sunhee checked her systems. "Unless..." Her face got dark. "They're using my own technology against us. Taiwan must have stolen my designs." The building shook as energy blasts hit the outer walls. Sunhai ran to different machines, turning them on. "We have automatic defenses, but they won't last long against their weapons." "How long to get the portal working?" Hajun asked, helping Sunhai. 20 minutes to power it up," she answered. "We need to hold them off until then." Do-hyun looked at all the worried faces around him. These people had risked everything to help him and Era. Now they were in danger because of that choice. He couldn't let them face this alone. "What can I do to help?" he asked. Sunhai pointed to a medical area in the corner. "Get that ready. We might need it." She looked at the others. "Hajun, Yeonwoo, take the east and west defense stations. Jai-yun, you know how to use the main weapon system." Era stepped forward, her skin glowing with determined red and gold colors. "I can help too. My people have natural abilities that can confuse their tracking systems. The building shook again. Through the high windows, they could see ships circling above them. Strange lights flashed in the sky. They're trying to break through the roof, Sun He said. She pressed more buttons, and metal shields covered the windows. The portal device needs time. We have to protect it until Era's ship is here. Do Hyun finished setting up the medical area and joined the others. Outside, they could hear the hunters preparing for their attack. But inside, 6 people, 5 humans, and 1 alien, got ready to make their stand. Sun Hai looked at her defenders and smiled. You know what I love about Earth? No matter how advanced other species are, they never expect humans to fight back. Let's show them why that's a mistake. The attack began with a thundering crash as the hunters tried to break through Sun Hai's defenses. Energy beams hit the building's shields, making the air crackle with power. Inside, everyone worked at their stations to keep the defenses strong. Portal device at 60% power, Sun Hai called out from her control panel. 10 more minutes. Jia-Yun operated the main weapons, firing energy pulses that kept the enemy ships from getting too close. Hejun and Yunwoo protected the east and west sides, using smaller defense guns that Sun Hai had built. Era stood in the center of the room, her skin glowing brighter than ever. She sent out waves of energy that confused the hunters' tracking systems, but Do Hyun could see it was tiring her. Their weapons are breaking through in Section 4. Yunwoo shouted. Part of the ceiling cracked, letting in a beam of hostile energy. I'm redirecting power to that section, Sun Hai said, her fingers flying over her controls. But it's weakening our other defenses. Suddenly, Era gasped. Her skin turned bright silver, a color Do Hyun had never seen before. Something's happening, she said. I can feel more minds, different ones, coming from above. Everyone looked up as new sounds filled the sky. Through the cracks in the ceiling, they saw larger ships appearing, sleek, silver vessels that made the hunters' ships look small and crude. The collective, Era whispered, her skin pulsing with joy. They got my emergency signal. The peacekeepers are here. The new ships moved with incredible speed. Beams of golden light shot out, surrounding the hunters' vessels in bubbles of energy. The attacking ships froze in midair, unable to move or fire their weapons. A voice filled the room, speaking in perfect Korean. This is Commander Ren of the Luminary Collective Peacekeeping Force. We have contained the hostile forces. Is Diplomat Era safe? I'm here, Era called out. All of us are safe, thanks to these humans. They protected me at great risk to themselves. A soft hum filled the air as a beam of light appeared in the center of the room. From it stepped a tall figure in silver armor, Commander Ren. Like Era, his skin shimmered with changing colors, but his were more controlled, showing mainly calm blue tones. The Purity Group will face justice for this attack, Commander Ren said. He looked at the humans with interest. But more importantly, you have all proven something we've long debated in the collective. What's that? Do Hyun asked. That humanity is ready for open contact. Ren smiled, his skin showing warm golden colors like Era's. We've watched Earth for years, unsure if you were ready to join the galactic community. Some, like the Purity Group, said you were too violent, too unpredictable. But they were wrong, Era said firmly. These humans risked everything to help me. A complete stranger from another world. They built a secret network just to help aliens in need. They showed compassion, intelligence, and courage. Sun He's portal device beeped, finally ready. Should we still bring your ship here? She asked Ara. Commander Ren looked impressed. You built a working portal device. Remarkable. He touched his wrist, and a hologram appeared. The ship is already secured. We can repair it properly on our main vessel. What happens now? Jia-Yun asked, still watching the contained hunter ships carefully. Now, Ren said, we begin a new chapter. The Collective Council will want to speak with all of you. Your actions here have opened a door that can't be closed, and shouldn't be. Do-hyun looked at Ara, who was fairly glowing with happiness. "Will you be all right?" he asked her. "Better than all right," she said. "I'll be helping to build the bridge between our peoples, and I hope you'll all help me." Her skin showed swirling patterns of excitement and hope. Through the broken ceiling, they could see more collective ships arriving, their presence no longer hidden. The dawn of a new era was literally breaking over them, and it had all started with a simple choice to help someone in need. 3 months after the battle at Sunhoo's workshop, Do-hyun stood in front of a mirror, adjusting his new uniform. The dark blue fabric shimmered slightly, made from a special material that could protect against radiation in space. On the chest, there was a symbol showing Earth and 3 stars, the mark of the new Earth Collective Medical Exchange Program. "It suits you," Era said, entering the room. She wore her official diplomat uniform, her skin glowing with happy golden colors. "Are you ready for the ceremony?" They were in a new building in Seoul, the first official collective embassy on Earth. After the incident with the Purity Group, things had moved quickly. The world governments had to accept that aliens were real when collective ships appeared over major cities, offering peace and friendship. "I'm a little nervous," Do-hyun admitted. "I never thought I'd be Earth's first medical ambassador to the stars." "You earned it," Era said warmly. "Your knowledge of both human and collective medicine makes you perfect for the role." They walked together to the embassy's main hall. Many people were already there. Jae-yun stood near the front, wearing a formal uniform that showed her new position as Earth's security advisor to the collective. She had helped create the new protocols for human-alien interactions, using her years of experience. Jun and Yeonwoo were there too. The network they had run in secret was now an official organization, helping Earth prepare for more alien visitors. They worked with both human and collective teams, teaching them how to understand each other better. Sunhae sat with a group of scientists, excitedly discussing technology. The collective had been amazed by her portal device and other inventions. Now she led a team working on combining human and alien technology in new ways. Commander Ren stepped onto the stage, his armor gleaming. "Today," he said, "we celebrate not just new positions and programs, but a new understanding between our peoples. 3 months ago, a small group of humans proved that compassion knows no planetary bounds." Do-hyun thought back to that rainy night when Era had knocked on his door. One decision to help had changed everything, not just for him, but for all of humanity. After the ceremony, there was a small party. Do-hyun found himself looking out a window at the Seoul skyline. A collective ship floated peacefully above the city, its presence now a normal sight. "Thinking deep thoughts?" Jae-yun asked, joining him. "Remembering how this all started," he replied, "with you bringing me kimchi and offering to help." Jae-yun smiled. "I knew that silver hair on your shirt meant something interesting, but I never guessed it would lead to all this." She looked proud. "You leave for the collective medical station next week, right?" "Yes. Era will show me around first. Then I'll start working with their doctors. We have so much to learn from each other." Across the room, Yeonwoo was showing some collective visitors how to eat with chopsticks, while Hejun explained what kimchi was. Sunhae had drawn a small crowd as she demonstrated her latest invention, a communication device that could translate emotions into colors, inspired by Era's people. Era walked over to Do-hyun and Jae-yun. "The council sends their thanks again," she said. "Your actions showed them the best of humanity, courage, kindness, and the ability to accept new friends." "We just did what was right," Do-hyun said simply. "That's exactly why you're perfect for this job," Era replied, her skin showing warm, happy colors. "The best diplomats are those who see people first, no matter what planet they're from." As the evening ended, Do-hyun looked around at his friends, human and alien together, sharing stories and laughs. In 1 week, he would board a collective ship and travel to the stars, helping build bridges between their peoples through medicine and care. But right now, watching Earth's sunset paint the sky in colors that made Era's skin shimmer with joy, he knew that the greatest adventures often start with the smallest choices, like opening a door to someone in need.